All right. Hey guys, we are starting with a new-ish topic for today, and that is theme. So, where we want to start is just kind of defining theme. But before we get to that, I want to talk about what theme is not. So, the theme of a story is not the plot or summary, and it is not the main idea or the main topic. Theme, it's basically an important idea that is woven throughout the story. It can answer a question. It is usually a lesson or message that you can take into real life, and there can be more than one in a single story. So there's different examples of themes, some of which I have listed here, but there's so many more. I kind of feel as if themes they're kind of broad in a sense, so it kind of just takes narrowing them down. But today we're gonna get a feel for, I guess you could say, like subcategories of themes, if that makes sense. So we're not doing anything too in depth today, but we are gonna get started with the idea of identifying theme in the Poet-X. So how do we find theme? You really want to ask yourself some questions. So how did the characters grow or change throughout the book? Why did characters act the way that they did? What is different at the end of the book than the beginning? What stays with you after the story is over? It's once again kind of going through the main morality or lesson that's woven into the book that you can kind of take into your real life. So you already know how to do this. We did our STQR charts yesterday, and those help you define the author's purpose, as we know. So when you're looking for theme and you're looking for examples in the text, you kind of want to think to yourself, so the author is saying this. You take that away and you got your theme, basically. So let's see here. So it's example time. So I am going to pull up text from the Poet-X. Okay. So I'm going to read this part out loud to you guys, and then we're going to go through and I'm going to underline some parts for you that kind of stick out to me and will help us identify some themes. So I must have been 5 or 6 because the memory is fuzzy, but my father had been watching a karate movie on TV and my mother was at church, so there was no one to bother us. Twin and I tied long sleeve t-shirts around our heads and used the bows from my church dresses to tie like karate sashes around our waists. We thought this made us look like ninjas, and we hopped from couch to couch, sliding off the plastic sofa covers but never landing in the lava. Why were we ninjas in volcanoes? Who knows? I remember at one point looking up and seeing my mother in the living room doorway. I flung myself at her. There was freedom there in flying and believing I'd be caught. I can't remember if she did catch me, but she must have, or wouldn't I remember falling? So some parts here that kind of stick out to me. The first line for me, and tell me guys what you guys think as well. So let me do the drawing. Okay. So the first line that kind of sticks out to me is this one right here. It says, and my mother was at church, so there was no one to bother us. So that's blatantly what the author is saying, but we also have to keep in mind, like I said, those SDQR charts that we did yesterday. We know that X's relationship with her mother is not the best. So this kind of shows us that her mother's presence is kind of burdensome to X in a way, because it's, because of the relationship that they have. It's not an easy one. It's a bit estranged. It's not the healthiest. So yeah, that was the first line that kind of stuck out to me there. The next line that stuck out to me in this one was right here. It says, oh, why is it doing that? Let me just circle it. There we go. Says there was freedom there in flying, in believing that I would be caught. So the author clearly states that. Another meaning that you could take from that is that there's freedom in knowing that you won't fall or that you're safe. So there's a safety in being innocent because, again, she was young when she was doing this. So there's safety in childhood and not really going into that, coming of age category or theme. So basically that's what the author is trying to say here, is that X felt safer in childhood knowing that she'd be caught in her mother's arms. So if we want to move on to the next one. Okay. Maybe the last time I was happy saying a poem, with Aman listening to me, eyes half closed, that moment right before I opened my mouth when I was nervous and my heart thumped fast. But I knew I could do it anyway, that I could say something, anything in this moment, and someone was going to listen. Definitely the part that stands out for me here is that I could say, oh gosh, that is so messy, guys, I'm so sorry. That I could do it anyway, that I could say something, anything in this moment, and someone was going to listen. So clearly that's what she's saying, but we know that X feels a bit unheard in her life and a bit misunderstood. So overall, it just kind of means that her family and friends do not generally listen to her, and she doesn't really feel heard. So that can kind of go along with, well, what would make her feel like that? Obviously, her family, and along with her family are societal norms and societal, what's the right word here? Expectations. So family and societal expectations would kind of be where this goes. But again, I will go over this again at the end. I just kind of want to point out to you guys where everything, what the big things that are sticking out to me are. And then this last page here. Can a stoop be a place of freedom? I feel like any time I sat on a stoop, I could just watch the world without it watching me too closely. Over the summer, it feels like years ago, the downstairs stoop was a playground. It was a moment when I could breathe without anyone asking me to do or be anything other than what I was. A girl, an almost woman, sitting in the sunshine and enjoying the warmth. Dudes don't bother you too much when you're sitting on your own apartment stoop. When I sat on the stoop with the boy, I thought I really cared for me. There was freedom then too. In the ways our bodies leaned towards each other, and the fact that I finally let myself be reckless. There is freedom in coming and going, for no other reason than because you can. There is freedom in choosing to sit and be still when everything is always telling you to move fast. Wow. So this is actually one of my favorite poems, I think, in the entire book. Any one where she's really talking about freedom. So the lines that stuck out here the most to me were, I would probably say, where is it? There it is. So it was a moment when I could breathe without anyone asking me, yes, to do or be anything other than what I was. I think that goes along again with the societal pressures that she's feeling, along with the, the pressures from her family that she's feeling to be something that she's not, which is once again shown here. There's freedom in choosing to sit and be still when everything is always telling you to move fast. So it's kind of like getting to decide, just getting to decide what you want to do instead of doing what society expects you to do as a Hispanic teenage girl, or what your family expects you to do as a practicing Catholic, which we know that X's mother is very much a hardcore Catholic. So if we want to kind of go back here and kind of put into summary, how we want to do this. So asking ourselves those questions. So you look at the first one, my mother was at church, there was no one to bother us. So what is this really pertaining to? Well, it's pertaining, one, to her family, especially her mother. So we're dealing with familial issues here. We're also dealing with religion. And we deal with religion throughout the entire book, as you know, because we are, again, X's mother is very religious, and that's something that really has a strong hold on her and her family. Okay, so we've got family pressures for that one. And then this one here, I've got coming of age. And what that means is basically just, coming of age means that you are coming of age. So you're growing into new places in your life. You're no longer, in elementary school. You're discovering the world. You're looking at things in a different way. And you're losing your childhood in some ways, which is what I think is trying to be said here. There was a lot of innocence here. There was a lot of, childhood memories involved. And for that reason, I think she's reflecting more because it is a coming of age theme. So I will write that down as well. So we've got family, religion, coming of age. Here we've got I could do it anyways, that I could say something, anything in this moment, and someone was going to listen. So this again goes with the fact that she's feeling a lot of pressures from her family and expectations. And I also think it's sort of a self-acceptance. I feel like X hasn't really accepted herself fully, simply because she's got all of these pressures on herself and she doesn't really know a lot about herself in some ways, I think. I don't know. I mean, you guys obviously, feel free to speak up. If you have any thoughts, of course, raise your hands. But it makes me really sad. I feel like she has a lot of things going on internally that she really needs to work through. But it's also part of being a teenager. It just doesn't help that she's got all of these outside, pressures, especially pertaining to her family and her mother. So for this one, I do have down self-acceptance and family, because I think that that's really kind of the big idea here, and it's kind of important. It was a moment when I could breathe without anyone asking me to do or be anything other than what I was. There's freedom in choosing to sit and be still when everything is telling you to move fast. Again, guys, I had to cover family expectations as well as societal expectations. I feel like a lot of this book honestly comes down to that theme, or those two themes in particular, which of course you're going to go through these and you can probably come up with a lot of different things. The big thing here with theme is that you really want to make sure that you can back up what's going on. So you want to be able to look at the things that you've written down and the themes that you've written down, and you want to be able to back that up with evidence from the text. So that's what we did today. That's what I just showed you. To basically just go through, look at some of the main ideas or the main parts in the text that you're seeing, underline them or circle them, and kind of assign it a theme and ask yourself those questions that we've been talking about here. So what did we find? So we found in total 5 different themes, just in those three pages that I read. So we've got self-acceptance, religion, coming of age, family, and society's expectations. So like I said, we're doing a bit more of a broad term here because I don't think you guys are quite ready yet to make up those like descriptive sort of themes that were shown in the video before this. So yeah, I just wanted to run through that really quick. So now it's your turn. In your groups, I've assigned these pages, and you're going to do the exact same thing that we just did up here on the board. So you're going to read your selection. You're going to choose one person in the group. You guys can vote on it if you'd like, however you'd like to do it. They're going to read the section out loud, and you guys are just going to go through and choose lines that you think are important. And then you're going to take those lines, look at the author's purpose, and look at what they might actually be saying, the underlining reason, the kind of like the SDQR charts that we did, but not in that much detail. You really just want to use the author's purpose to assign a theme. And after you've assigned that theme, you might have more than one. There can definitely be more than one. We had 5 for 3 pages. So just kind of go through, review with your group the themes that you found. And after that, double check yourselves if you'd like to, definitely. Like, look at the themes afterwards and just make sure that the evidence that you can provide, those lines that you found were important and assigned to those themes, are actually relevant to that theme itself. Because if not, then you may not actually have a theme at all. So I will be going around if anyone needs to ask me any questions. Good luck, guys.